Hey everyone, Maize here, bringing you episode 8 of Waking the Sleeping Demon, my DePaul dynasty that is heading into season 2 under head coach Kenny Payne. This is my DePaul rebuild, doing so with real players and real recruits into the second offseason, a big offseason, an important one, and one that brought a lot of changes to the roster. So that's the big thing we're going to focus on in this offseason episode. Some of the changes that have come to DePaul's roster during the offseason, as well as just our season preview of what we expect out of the Blue Demons in year 2 under head coach Kenny Payne. Thank you to those who have been following along. And as always, if there are things you want to see, because there are real players and real recruits in this game, if you want to see some of the top players of the class of 2022, please let me know. I can make sure to highlight some of them as we go through. I'll make sure to do that in the Big East next episode. But if there's anything else that you want to see, please let me know. But as for now, focusing on DePaul, getting you ready for season 2. Hope you enjoy. So we want to start with the big change that came in the transfer portal, and that was forward Kokiat making the decision to transfer away from DePaul after 1 year on campus. This is his real life recruiting profile on 24/7. So he was kind of a high 3-star player, a top 200 in the composite, top 130 on 24/7. Had some offers from some big schools, and ultimately was looking at a lot of these schools on his list of places to maybe go and play as a transfer player, and ended up choosing St. Louis. So Kokiat ultimately decided to transfer to St. Louis, one of the teams that had initially offered him. He's looking for an opportunity for more playing time. It's something that we couldn't offer Yacht, and part of that was just our roster construction, especially in the first year, having someone like Romeo Weems. It just didn't leave a lot of minutes for someone like Yacht, who's still also kind of a raw player. But as you can see, high potential. He will be sitting out this year. One thing in this game, no immediate transfers. That's something I'm sure will be changing in the future because NCAA rules are changing, as well as many conference rules are changing around transfers. So Yacht transferring out, going to St. Louis, leaving another scholarship spot available. And the way we use that scholarship was in the class of 22. So with an open scholarship spot available, we made the decision to go a little younger. We could have chased somebody in the transfer portal, although that player would have had to sit out for this season. So we knew we needed some immediate help. Didn't want to leave the backcourt without another guard after losing Javon Freeman Liberty. We thought it was important to maybe add another guard. While we do have some capable players, we've got our starters. Always great to add another player, especially because we do have 3 juniors in the backcourt. So in 2 years, it's going to be pretty slim at that position. So we made the decision to go out and offer Washington, D.C. prospect, a 3-star prospect, Devin Dinkins. Dinkins, high potential, but right now a little limited in terms of what he can do. And part of that is just because of his size, 5'9", 159 pounds, a small guard, but a lead guard, someone who can handle, has the athleticism. Still working on his shot. He's a little more comfortable attacking the rim. Probably not able to do that right now at the college level, but someone we're really excited about. He's probably going to earn some minutes as a freshman. He's not going to be redshirted. He's someone that we're excited about enough that, we think we can give him some spot minutes, some reserve minutes. He'll definitely be in when the games get out of hand. We want to see what we have. Very excited about him. A similar guard in the way to Marquise Jacobs, offense first. Someone that a bit of a liability given his size on the defensive end. As you can see, this is his 24/7 page as a member of the class of 22. DePaul right now, one of his major offers, along with Georgetown, who just recently offered. He's got offers as well from Penn State and LaSalle. He has some connections to this coaching staff in real life, and I thought it would be interesting to bring him in because it looks like he is right now one of the favorites of the class of 22 to join DePaul. And because of that, went ahead and did it and put it into the game. Now, with Chisholm Akpara also deciding to decommit and instead recommit to Penn State, we had 2 more scholarship positions still available. So what we did is we went out and looked at 2 players from Oak Forest High School that had some interest in DePaul. DePaul in real life has offered both of these players. So we looked at them as a package deal, and they have since committed to DePaul. The first is Robbie Avila. I'm really excited about Robbie Avila, but he's someone who's still growing into the game. He's developing an outside shot, but right now a very skilled forward, 6'8", 218 pounds. As you can see, there's not much of the way of potential in current rating, but because I've adjusted ratings to make sure that players are like they are in real life, you can't look too much at the star rating, especially for this season. He's an improved athlete. He's gotten a lot stronger in his last 2 years of basketball at Oak Forest, and was really the star on last year's Oak Forest team. So because of that, I thought he was a perfect fit on an offense that is going to need some shooters, especially in the front court. Space the floor a little bit better going forward. That's something I'm going to talk about when we talk about the starting five. So Avila was a perfect fit, and someone that, given that he has in the last 2 years in the Chicago basketball scene really grown, I thought was a perfect fit to join DePaul's class. The other player is Fred Robinson IV. He actually just transferred into Oak Forest, but originally still from the Chicagoland area. He's someone that right now, he's got a nice jump shot. He's not afraid to attack the basket. A very good ball handler, good passer, but someone that, again, still working on his game. You see he makes some mistakes on the floor, but Fred Robinson IV, playing with Robbie Avila for a year, I thought that was a fun connection and something I wanted to bring into the game. Let's quickly highlight their real life recruiting profiles. Here's an article from the Chicago Tribune on Robbie Avila, noting he had received offers from DePaul and Toledo, but many thought that was just the beginning. Avila ultimately deciding, I like the glasses too, it's a good look there, deciding on DePaul, staying close to home. And same with Fred Robinson IV, 6'2", 180-pound guard. You can see this is Huddle. If you want to watch his tape, it's there under his Huddle page, from Oak Forest High School. Described as a strong athletic guard and on-ball defender with a 3.8 GPA. Long athletic wingspan, good athlete, still getting stronger. Probably a perfect two guard in our offense, especially if we're going to run more three guard sets. Should be a good player, but needs to get better as a defender. And needs to get better in terms of his positioning, and also offensively, I'd like a little bit more from him as well, instead of just being, just a jump shooter or settling for the jump shot, because that's probably not the strength of his game, the jump shot, but it's something he seems to settle for. So he's someone that I think is probably a few years away from earning minutes, but someone we were still excited to add to the class of 22. So in total, 6 new freshmen joined the roster, 5 scholarship players, including Robbie Avila, the low 3-star player from Oak Forest High School, Devin Dinkins, mid 3-star from the Washington, D.C. area, went to Gonzaga Prep, someone with ties to the coaching staff that they're very high on in real life. Also, there's Braden Huff, someone I am very excited about. Braden Huff has been highlighted previously on episodes and in my articles. You can check out those articles on Operation Sports or Wolverine Studios on my Dynasty page there. From Carroll Stream, Illinois, Braden Huff, just an overall great forward, a really nice combo forward that I'm excited about. I think someone that's going to earn minutes right away because he's more college ready than I expected. He came in very highly rated in the game, and that's great to see. DJ Jefferson, the guard wing player, a little undersized for a wing, but plays very hard, an extremely good shooter from the St. Paul area. Again, someone that I want to get minutes early because I want to see what we have. I think he's going to play a big role in the future. There's also walk-on Byron Johnson. This is someone that's just created in the game, not an actual person, but someone I don't expect to get a lot of minutes and actually could be cut in the future to open up another roster spot for another walk-on. And then Fred Robinson IV, Oak Forest teammate of Robbie Avila, someone that was not highly recruited, but someone that I think makes a lot of sense on this roster, is going to be redshirted in his first season. But a nice scheme fit guard, given that he is a defensive stopper, not afraid to mix it up on that end. Strong, but too often settles for the jump shot. If he develops more offensively, is someone I think could earn some major minutes for us. So bringing in 6 freshmen, that's great for us, but it probably means some growing pains in this season because we're going to be relying on a lot of younger players. So that means we're going to need more out of some of these upperclassmen. And there's a senior that should have been on the roster last year, but I did not include because I kept Romeo Weems on the roster instead. Now, in real life, Romeo Weems went to the NBA, and this player was a transfer into DePaul that probably would have played similar minutes and very similarly to Romeo Weems. So in the grand scheme, it probably evened itself out. But Philmon Gabriwit is someone that I'm really excited about this year. As you can see, current and potential ratings very high. 6'7", 190-pound forward, very versatile player, originally from Boston, who out of high school was a 3-star player that committed to Robert Morris. He went to South Plains College for 2 years, didn't play much in year 1, but in year 2 exploded. Only played basically 23 minutes a game, but shot 46% from the field, 41% from 3, hit 75% of his free throws, averaged almost 4 rebounds a game, and 11 points per game, again, in just 23 minutes. showed a lot in his sophomore redshirt season at South Plains. And because of that, was given a scholarship by this new DePaul coaching staff. Should have been on the roster last year, probably would have played, maybe even started. But again, because Romeo Weems was there, I decided against adding him to the roster because we didn't have a spot. We didn't have an upperclassman spot available there. But now he joins the roster and is in the mix along with Grant Foster and David Jones to possibly start alongside Nick Ongenda. Losing Romeo Weems, that's a big loss. But I think Gabriwitt is going to fill in very nicely and offers us more offense as well. A better shooter than Weems. Defensively, maybe not as good, but a good rebounder, especially for his size. So someone that I think is a great player for us going forward. We'll only have 1 year with him. Likely DePaul will have 2 years with him, given that he will be transferring in from the junior college ranks. But another new face that I'm very excited to highlight, and someone that I think you're going to get used to seeing in a lot of these sims. Never too early to talk about next year. We have to look at the class of 2023. And already 2 players have already given verbal commitments, including Donaven Younger, the 6'8", 205-pound forward who can probably play the 4 and 5 because he is a very good rim protector. He's got a good inside game, still developing a bit of a jump shot that hasn't really come along in his game yet, but a solid, strong, good defensive player that we're really excited to bring in because he's probably going to be a nice replacement for Nick Ongenda. Good athlete, and someone that gives us the opportunity, again, to be versatile in the front court with how we want to play our forwards, and someone that even as a freshman probably going to earn some minutes. And the other is someone that I'm personally very excited about because there's a bit of a connection to very close to where I'm from, and that's Tim Jordan Jr. Tim Jordan Jr. from Saginaw Arthur Hill High School. Arthur Hill continues to be one of the premier high school basketball programs in the state of Michigan. It's the home program of players like Draymond Green. Not as highly rated in the game, 680 overall, a 2-star player, but someone that I think is just better than that. A really skilled interior scorer, and has developed a bit of an outside game as well. Given that his growth spurt happened a little bit later, he played more as a guard early in his career and then more as kind of a combo forward. A great athlete, mainly because of his strength and his size and the way he uses it, but skilled enough with the basketball that I think he's going to be a great player for us going forward. I can see Jordan and Younger sharing the front court, Jordan at the 4, Younger at the 5. I think there's great potential for both of them there. Because we're losing forwards, this class really had to focus on bringing in some big men. So the other player we're looking at is Matt Bergman. Matt Bergman from Martinsville, Illinois, Martinsville High School. You can see averaging 12 and 7 a game, 1.7 blocks and 2 steals. So a skilled big, but this is the thing we really want to add with all of the players, especially in the front court, is athletes. We want to add guys that are plus athletes that can give us some versatility and are not afraid to run the floor. Right now we're playing at a bit of a slower pace. A lot of that has to do with the players on the roster, but I'd like to see the pace pick up a bit in the future. And I'd like to see us play a little more full court as well. So that means having to bring in somebody like Matt Bergman, a center who is, can run the floor. So while he is just a 1-star player, he's someone we're really excited about. I think the class of 23, while it's not going to be one of the higher rated classes, it's not going to bring in the big numbers or the big star recruits like the classes of 21 or 22. Class of 23, the depth we're bringing in and the positional needs that it fills, very important. Again, let's highlight Donaven Younger, the real life recruiting profile here. As you can see, 6'8", 195 right now as a junior in high school. He's gotten some offers, including one from Illinois, recruited by Chin Coleman, who recently just moved on to the University of Kentucky. But Younger is someone that has really, during the AAU circuit, as he's been playing, it's been the defense and the rim protection that's really gotten highlighted. And because of that, if he grows a little bit, even just add some weight, some bulk, given his athleticism, I think could be a great 5 for us. And someone, again, very excited about, given that he is going to be one of the top players in the state of Illinois. We are 10 days away from our first game against Baylor, and I just want to highlight what we're looking at in terms of our starting 5, just to preview what the roster is going to look like this year. This is the minute distribution that we're going to have. Leading the backcourt, Jalen Terry and Ahmad Bynum. Really excited about Ahmad Bynum, his sophomore year. Right now, it looks like we're going to play him 30 minutes a game, so we're going to throw him right into the fire. Philman Gabriwitt and David Jones at the 3 and 4. again, we can, mix and match there. It allows us to play Tyon Grant Foster at both the 3 and the 4, mixing who plays best. And that's something we can find out early in the season, what rotation and what group of players plays best together. We're hoping to figure that out early. So by the time conference play comes around, we know exactly what our rotation should look like. And then Nick Ongenda, the big man, not going to play a ton of minutes, but the minutes he plays are so impactful. In the transfer, Sean Robinson, now in year 2 with us. His offense was very important, especially early in the season. He was playing so well for us, but it really fell off. He had a really cold streak in the middle of the season and just never really rebounded. So I'm hoping that, now in year 2 with the team, he can settle into his role. He's going to play about 12 minutes a game, basically all the reserve minutes that Ongenda is not on the floor. I'd like to see him improve that shooting so we can keep him out for longer stretches if he gets hot. Also off the bench, Maize Jacobs, who ended up playing a lot last season because of some injuries in the backcourt, including to Freeman Liberty. He'll be our lead guard off the bench, leading those bench minutes. And he also will probably get a few minutes with Jalen Terry, not with Ahmad Bynum, because I'm concerned about the defense having them both on the floor at the same time. So they will rarely share the backcourt together at the same time. But very excited about his next season, the junior, a very important player for us because he can fill it up and keep us in games and help us go on runs at very crucial times in the game as well. And then some freshmen getting some minutes. DJ Jefferson, Braden Huff, and Devin Dinkins all getting minutes. Jefferson and Huff getting about 6 minutes a game. We really, again, just want to see what they can do in year 1, see what we have. We're really excited about Braden Huff, and I think there's going to be a spot for him in that starting lineup next year, especially if he continues to improve, get a little stronger, get a little more physical. But because of the inside-outside style that he plays, I think he's a perfect fit for us at the 4. DJ Jefferson, just having someone that is that skilled of a shooter, so important for us. Definitely want to have him earn some minutes. As for Dinkins, we just want to see what we have. A smaller guard, is he ready to play right away? Last year, Maize Jacobs early in the year was not earning a lot of minutes, but was thrust into that role and really exceeded expectations. Dinkins could be in a similar situation because once you get past Jacobs on the roster, if we're looking for another lead guard, it's going to be Dinkins that's going to have to answer the call. And now a quick preview of the schedule. Because DePaul did not finish last in the conference, I wanted to make sure they got a Big 12 matchup in non-conference play. As many of you know, there's the Big East, Big 12 matchups that happen in non-conference play every year. So that's how we're going to lead off the schedule, is again playing Baylor. We played Baylor last year in a tournament, and this year we play them in our season opener. From there, we have some nice home games that I think give us an opportunity to figure things out, figure out a rotation, and to really work on what type of team we're going to be this year. Games against FAU, Hofstra, Northern Iowa, and Maryland, Baltimore County. All mid-major teams that I think will give us a test, but also an opportunity for some wins, because from there we go on a road stretch that's going to be very important. At Northwestern, getting to stay close to home again with a game at Chicago State in early December. Those 2 games very important for us to see how we stack up against the best teams in the area. And then we accepted a bid to the Emerald Coast Classic. I'll be highlighting that with an article soon. And our first game will be against Richmond. Richmond, a great mid-major, someone who's probably thinking about the tournament, but a multi-day tournament there where we can earn some wins and maybe earn some hardware. That would be great. In year 2 under Coach Payne, that would be awesome to see us, maybe rifle off a few in a row. And it's going to come at a time during the non-conference where I think we're going to have a good idea of who we are. So it's a good test at the right time. Our last non-conference game of the year, a nice warm up as we get ready for conference play against Omaha. Omaha really struggled last year. I'm expecting, they'll be a little better this year. And because of that, I think it's a good test right before Big East play starts, the day after Christmas. Day after Christmas, we'll be hosting, right now ranked in the top 25, Butler. Butler coming off a great year in which they were regular season champions in the Big East. They're still led by that backcourt. Now that backcourt features a sophomore and a junior. I think Butler, again, one of the favorites to win the Big East. From there, 3 of our next 4 are on the road, including traveling to UConn and Seton Hall. Seton Hall and Providence, expecting better seasons, but I think we'll be in the bottom half of the Big East like they were last year. Marquette, tough to say. They were basically 500 last year. Which direction are they going to move? It's a good question, but one that I don't have a great answer for. As we get into January, then we have a stretch where we start playing against the better teams in the conference. Villanova, Xavier, and Georgetown, an opportunity to play 3 ranked teams in a row. It's about this time last year where we took a bit of a losing streak and then we snapped it late January and played some of our best basketball to finish the year strong. I'd love if we can do something like that again this year, but we need to earn some more wins early in conference play. Hopefully we stay healthy. We were unable to do so last year, but if we can stay healthy, I think we have the type of roster that can give some teams fits in the Big East. I want to hope that we are better defensively, and I don't see us getting any worse on offense. I see Jalen Terry really stepping up into that lead guard role. Now it's going to be his show to run with Freeman Liberty having left and graduated. I think it's a great opportunity for him, and I expect to see him step up. Same for Ahmad Bynum now in a starting role. We're really excited about this year. I think the offense is going to be great, and as long as the defense isn't as bad as it was last year, I think we're in really good shape to have a winning record this year. And that's the goal. Goal this year, let's have a winning record. Let's get closer to 500 in conference play, and let's continue to build. We are going to be losing 3 seniors from this roster, 3 players that are definitely going to be logging big minutes for us, including our only true center on the roster, Ongenda, and then Gabriwit and Grant Foster, both junior college transfer forwards who are going to play a lot of minutes for us this year. But the strength of this team is still in a lot of those underclassmen. And because of that, I'm still excited for the future. And I hope you are too. I hope you stay tuned. Hope you stay watching. Hope you enjoyed this off-season episode. In the next episode, we're going to start playing some games. 6 games at a time. That's the chunks that we're going to be taking a bite out of in each episode of Waking the Sleeping Demon. And we're going to do so on the next episode as we start non-conference play. Hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button to make sure you are the first to see new videos as soon as they are dropped. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll talk to you soon.